So when Xiaomi originally came to India, there was a lot of talk about a disruptive device and Xiaomi's disruptive devices. The company's devices are usually really good and they are always the best in class. So when the Redmi Note 4G came out, it was again the first phablet in the sub 10K segment. But then Indian competitors like Micromax, whose market was supposed to be hit by this, are coming back. And this is Micromax's answer, the Yu Yureka. So the competition right now is between these two and we've got a lot of feedback from you guys asking about the two. So let's talk about the build and design first. As you can already see, both of these have your 13MP cameras on the back and their LED flashes. But the U just looks a little better just because of the Redmi Note's overuse of plastic. If you can see here, the Redmi Note has a very glossy back while the U has this moonstone finish, as Micromax calls it. While this is an inexpensive version of the OnePlus One, it is still the better of the two. Also, the U is just slightly slimmer, or at least that's how it feels like. So overall, if you look at it, the U is lighter, and the overall build and design, we quite prefer the U over the Redmi Note. So here's a direct comparison between the Redmi Note 4G and the Yu Yureka. So talking about the display, both of these devices have a 720p 5.5-inch display. So the difference is not much, but if you look at the Redmi Note's display, MIUI does make it look really good. In fact, in some cases, we quite like the Redmi Note display. Its icons are very colorful, they're very bright, and it does look good, but the display itself is not that bright. It's quite dull. If you look at the Gmail icon here, you can see that the Redmi Note, the Gmail icon looks a little duller as compared to your the Yureka here. If you open Gmail, it becomes a little more apparent. You can see the colors. The color here looks a little dirty. The white color looks a little dirty as compared to the white on the Yureka. So overall, the display, there is very fine difference here, and it really comes down to someone's own perception of how they like their display to be. So there's not much separating the two in that. So on the performance front, as you would already know, the Redmi Note runs on your Snapdragon 400 clocked at 1.6 GHz. It's a quad-core processor. On the other hand, the Yureka runs on an octa-core Snapdragon 615 processor. So the Yureka does have the newer hardware, and as you can see on benchmarks, the Yureka does perform much better than the Redmi Note 4G. In fact, if you look at the overall Antutu score, the details that Antutu gives you, you can see that the Yureka is pretty much better at everything that it's doing. So your multitasking is better, your runtime, everything is better on the Yureka. These things do have an impact. In regular usage, again, you may not see the difference, but if you go by your benchmarks, then you will see a difference. Let's just open a few apps, the same apps at the same time in both the devices, and find out. So as you can see, there's not much of a difference in regular usage. This is what we always say when we mean that benchmarks do not represent real world usage. Because in the real world, this difference is really hard to spot. So if you and your friend are using these phones and you put them side by side, you may see the difference, but overall in the real world usage, there won't be much difference. So unless you're talking in terms of numbers, the performance in the Yureka, though better, doesn't show up that easily. It will show up once you fill your device with more apps, of course, because the Yureka does do better with storage I/O. Because the Yureka does do better with storage, I/O operations, your database operations. So overall, the performance again remains better in the Yureka, even though they're very close. So on the camera front, what we have done here is we have used both the 13MP cameras and we have taken the same picture using both of them, and we have also taken a low light shot. So the difference in these pictures you can see is barely anything. The cameras are really close. The Redmi Note, while one of the best cameras in the below 10K segment, has its only competitor in the Yureka. The details are quite good. The white balance in both the devices is quite good. So overall we like both the cameras, but the Yureka does do better in this low light shot. You can see more details in the Yureka. The Redmi Note, you can see the little Me bunny on the back, but you can see more in this picture. So you see the low light performance on the Yureka is better, which again in this competitive market, this would probably make a big difference. So last but not the least, the battery. The battery in both these devices is again very similar to each other, even though the Redmi Note has a much bigger battery than the Yu Yureka. The Yu Yureka actually has the similar screen, similar specs in some ways, but 2500 mAh battery as compared to your Redmi Note, which has a 3100 mAh battery. So we have done our tests. Our tests include your video test, which is a looping video test, and we also use the PC Mark for Android. So the funny thing here is that these two are absolutely the same on battery. While on our video test, both of these devices run for 7 hours and 6 minutes. The PC Mark for Android test also goes just about 5 hours for both of these. So in the battery front, there's not much difference. That said, both of these could have better batteries if you consider the fact that they are phablets. There are phablets in the market with much bigger specs and much better batteries. So as you see, both the devices are really close to each other in terms of performance, camera and everything else. Then why does our review say that the Yureka is the better device? The reason for that is that the Yureka costs just ₹1000 lower, and this kind of a competitive market, that makes a big difference. So the Yureka is also a 4G enabled device, but it's got newer hardware than the Redmi Note 4G. So newer hardware means that when the Lollipop ROM comes on this, it can only make it better, not worse. But the same may not happen with the Redmi Note 4G. MIUI here does offer a lot of features, but CyanogenMod just offers more features than the Redmi Note. So what do you do then? Just for that ₹1000, do you spend extra on the Redmi Note 4G because you think the brand value is better? Of course, the decision is yours, but if you ask us, we don't think you should, because Micromax has done a really good job with the Yureka.